Good morning and welcome to Proceeding Onward in America.
POA.
Well, let's get some coffee ready and we'll have a discussion about our day at the KOA in Dallas, Arlington. Welcome back. Now that we have some coffee, we can have our little coffee discussion.
About KOA.
In Dallas, Arlington, Texas. Yes, still working on the coffee here.
We still need to wake up some, so this shower will be interesting. But we started working at KOA last year, and we did about 4 months, give or take.
Give or take.
And then we got there, it was doing some changeover of managements.
Yes. Lee and Jim had just became new managers, and they was given this KOA as a new starting point. So they wanted to change up a lot of things because at this KOA, the managers that was there for over 10 years. So a lot of things was all lean and back and relaxing, and you had long-termers that was there for years, and you had people that worked there that was living there for years. So Lee and Jim wanted to change it up and make it more of an income source for travelers that are coming in and just staying for a day or two.
Or even a week. There's a lot of cool stuff, which you saw in our previous videos, about things that you can do in the Dallas, Arlington, KOA area. And they wanted it more of a destination rather than long-term situation.
Yes. So their first stop was their first job was mostly to hire new people, and that happened to be us. I think we were the only ones that got hired around that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were very special.
When we got there, the park is very huge.
Compared to where we've been.
Yeah. And the entrance of the park looked very small and narrow, like you can't fit nothing in it type of. And then as soon as you get past that gate and that long road, it's like wide open. I think they said it was like 16 or 17 acres of land that was huge. It had like over 400 sites. So that was very interesting, and that surprised us because as soon as we pulled in, and it was, because it's a hard turn to pull in, especially when you're coming south, because you can't turn left when you're coming south because of the way the road is. I think there's a divider there, so you have to do a U-turn
at the light, which you
at
can't.
The light,
you got to find somewhere else to turn around,
which a lot of big RVs can't do. So when you're coming north, you just turn right into it. And I even for me, I would actually say that ramp driveway in is kind of a little bit too short. So a lot of big rigs don't make it wide enough, and then their back end is running over the sidewalk, and then this is heavy traffic, so you're slowing down traffic just to make that turn because it's a very tight entryway.
Yeah, you got it. So it's like 3 lanes going by, and you got to get in that middle lane before you pull on in. And there's a lot of cars, if they don't know that you're turning, they could be coming in that middle or in the closest lane to getting into the KOA. When you make that wide turn, you can have some accidents.
So we had a few people that pulled into the mechanical garage that was next door by accident because your GPS will say turn right here, and then as soon as it says that, you're pretty much at that garage point. So a lot of people turn right there.
And of course, because the storage unit is right behind the garage, there are some RVs that are stored there, and they think that was part of the park and not a storage unit.
So
FYI.
So it has a small front, but huge back, and it's gorgeous. And it was definitely a lot of things to do out there in Dallas, like she said earlier. But when we started, she was hired to do office work, front desk, and I was hired for the maintenance position.
So there are other positions which, if you don't like to do storekeeper, or I'm sorry, front desk, there is a storekeeper in some spots. There's also some that have cafes where you can work in the food service part and do handling of food or serving food. They do have a recreation spot sometimes, depending on the park. During the summer months or wherever they're located, there's a lot of kids and they need people to take care of the recreation for things to do with the kids. There's also night hosts sometimes, depending on the area. So you might have to do night work instead of working during the day and so forth. So there's a lot of different ones. So if you don't like to deal with people right up at the front desk, you can check out like the food services, or maybe, oh yeah, they have housekeeping as well. So if you don't mind doing some housekeeping, that can help, which we did dabble in a little bit.
To join, it's pretty easy. The only thing on the bad side is that every campground pays you differently, and if it's the franchise version, they don't pay you at all. They mostly just paying for your stay. So you're only paying, you're working for them just to stay there. And then on the corporate side, they are paying you per hour, and you're kind of paying the campsite just about $175, I think it is right now.
A month, yeah.
For every month, and they take that out your pay, which is good. It kind of varies from state to state, KOA to KOA, so it's all good, and it's up to you. You know what I mean? You can, when you open up the website, you'll be able to see all what they're paying, what they're charging, and everything like that. So it's pretty much your choice on what you want to do.
And to hit on that, Texas minimal wage is around $8 and something.
Yeah.
So when we were down there, we were making about $8 an hour, and we still had to pay that monthly fee. And then we were supposed to go afterwards to a different KOA, and that KOA was paying $11 an hour, and we still had to pay the same monthly fee.
You want to do it for the money, go for the other ones, go for the high-paying ones. If you want to do it for the fun, just enjoy yourself. You know, at least you get a good place to stay, you get a good park to enjoy, and you get to explore the state that you're at.
Yeah, and the one that we were at before, the Hollywood one, we didn't get paid, period. No. But we stayed there because we want to be closer to family at that time. Some of the fun things at this KOA, they do have activities. There are some activities that they do on the weekend.
They have a campfire Friday, so Chuck was the man in charge of that at this KOA, so I used to always tell everybody go there, meet new people, enjoy, have the kids enjoy new friends, and just, you know, that's what you came here for, to meet new people, meet new friends, not just travel around.
And plus, after a long day of traveling and you want to start relaxing, why not? You don't have to worry about putting up a campfire at your site. You can just join the community. They do campfire stories sometimes. They had somebody come by and they were playing some music and so forth. So they have different activities Friday night. And then on Sundays, they do a pancake breakfast. My favorite.
Big, fluffy, huge pancakes.
Wee.
Yeah. But bring your own syrup.
You can bring your own syrup. Some people did in the past. We do recommend bringing some money. It is free breakfast, but they do a donation, and that donation goes to care camps. Do you know what care camps is, baby?
Yes, I do. It's for the kids that cannot go out camping like us.
Yep. These are kids that have cancer.
Yep.
So it is to help out the children that can't go out and camp like us, but the money gets raised, and then the kids with the cancer can go camping all together in certain spots and do certain activities. So yes, the breakfast is free, and a lot of people didn't make donations, but if you do go, please make a donation to help out these kids. They also do bike rentals for the kids.
Yeah.
So that's a little fun. It reminds me of Mario Kart.
I guess you can say that.
They put on these little helmets and these little bikes, and the bikes are all different, and they just go zoom, zoom, zoom around the park. So some of the sites that are in the location, they do have tent camping. They had, 5 sites for tent camping, and you can have up to 2 tents, depending on the size, per site.
Per site.
And you can have up to 6 people. if you have pets, you're not allowed to have pets at this KOA.
Not at the KOA?
Not when you're tent camping.
Oh.
Because of the weather and everything, it can get way too hot during the summer or during certain times of the year, and they don't want you leaving your pet in the tent and then it not being able to survive the weather, so forth. So pets are not allowed when you're tent camping at this KOA. Being something more glamping, they do have cabins there. They have these, we call them baby cabins, but they're not called baby cabins. But so they're little tiny cabins, and they come in different sizes. The only thing is, these ones do not have bathrooms in them.
No, but they got a bathhouse that's not too far from it.
Exactly. So if you want to go camping a little bit more glamorous, you can stay at one of these. And if you're really more needing for other things, they have bigger cabins
that have bathrooms and kitchens.
Yes.
And air conditioning.
And AC, yes. Well, the little cabins do too. I won't go through all the rooms, but I will put a link down below of the KOA Dallas, Arlington, and you can look at the different ones from there. And then they also did have pull-throughs and back-ends available. So you could stay there monthly, weekly, or nightly. And if you're there for a monthly, it is cheaper than if you stay for like 2 weeks on it. Just a heads up, pro tip there.
Okay.
And then if you're not part of the KOA rewards program, check that out, because if you are part of the KOA rewards program, you will earn points, and those points can accumulate to getting so much money off from your next stay. And they also do offer a military, police, and firefighting discount at this KOA. There are some KOAs that don't have any discounts like this, and there's some that do. So make sure you always check that.
Okay.
So, Fabian, what was your day like when you were working on the grounds?
Our duties were pretty simple, minor tasks. We had to be there early in the morning, so I always got up and would get dressed and everything, and then we got these golf carts that we drive around and that's how we get around the park. So I had the keys to open up the parking location where we park them, and then drive my wife to the office.
Sometimes I'd walk.
And then after that, my job was mostly just to clean up all the sites of everybody that left. So I get this list of people that's leaving on that day, and I go and I check that out. And at the same time, I'm checking out to see who left early, who left late last night or anything like that, and clean up their sites. I'm also picking out the trash, because I think at all KOAs they do this.
Some of them.
You can just leave your trash on the side and they'll pick it up between a certain time. And so that was pretty much my job, was just to pick up the trash, clean up the sites. And then throughout the day, I got to make it look pretty. So if there's mowing that got to be done, grass that got to be trimmed, weed that got to be pulled, flowers that got to be planted. I did gardener, I did maintenance, I did electrical work. If the podium blew out or anything like that, had to make sure the sewer lines were working, the water lines were working. And then if we get a new camper that comes in, my job is to escort you to your site and then pretty much let you know about the park. So I always told everybody about Friday campfire and Sunday morning breakfast if they're staying for the weekend. I told them where the park was, where the doggy park was, and showed them how everything works, where the plumbing, the sewers, and the electric and the cable, just in case they didn't know. And if they don't know how to do any of this stuff, I showed them how to do it right there and then, because I'm just like that. I'm just very customer friendly, and I don't mind showing people how to do things.
Yeah, it takes a couple extra seconds to help somebody out.
Yeah.
So there are many people, you'd be surprised, that didn't even know how to do their cable.
But it was fun. We also had to cut down tree limbs that were too short and trees that were too old. So it was interesting doing a lot of everything that we had to do there.
Yeah, he became a gardener with a green thumb, sort of.
My thumb's still yellow.
He's not a professional yet then. As for the front desk area, I'd show up in the morning and I'd count the drawers and everything, make sure the previous night was fine, and then I listened to the messages for this one, once we left, it went to a voice recording and it recorded your messages, and we picked it up the next morning. Then I'd go through the computer, see who we have coming in, who's going out, and also make sure everything's up to date for what today. So I printed off the paperwork that he needed to know who was leaving for the day, who should have came in. There are sometimes late arrivals. And so he has to go to their site to make sure they actually showed up and so forth. And then he'll come back to the office, let me know who's checked out, who did arrive late last night or not, and so forth. And then I'll just put that into the system. It was pretty simple. There were moments that were hard when a lot of people start coming in and you're trying to do a whole bunch of paperwork and you're trying to get all these rigs into their sites. And because of the area was so small, you get 3 or 4 lined up, and then all of a sudden they're into the road. And you're all trying to rush them to get to their site, on top of making sure we have enough people to escort them to the site, to make sure that everything's happening. So there are moments where you're moving wicked fast. And it's like, go, go, go. And then you're trying not to get everyone upset, because now they're standing in line after they've traveled all this time. And who knows, they might have had to bang that Yui, and now they're all more upset. And then they had to pull. And they've had one of these horrendous traffic days.
I think everybody had a horrendous traffic day.
Oh, yeah. But besides that, it was a great time. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of learning.
We would definitely do it again, especially even at that KOA and working for Lee and Jim. They were great managers, and everything worked out. Learned a lot, and we're willing to do it again, even at other places. So we're looking into that one for later on, mostly. Okay.
All right. Thank you for watching.
Keep following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and don't forget to become our Patreon, where we can make more videos like this.
Yeah. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, like this video, and ring that bell. When you ring that bell, you'll get more notifications of our stuff that's been posted.
All right. Until next time.
Bye-bye.